Listening to songs reminds us who we are desperately trying to be or not to be. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. We Episcopalians don't usually sing that. I think mainly because Billy Graham made that song famous through his altar calls and religious crusades. But that song had a story way before him that happened 150 years ago. Welsh Christians went to India to preach, and one missionary converted a man, his wife, and 2 children, but when the village chief heard they had become Christians, the chief called the family before him and said, "You will renounce your new faith." Father said, "No, I have decided to follow Jesus." So, in front of him, the chief executed both his children. The chief then said again, "Renounce your faith," and the father, Nokseng, said, "No, though none go with me, I still will follow." So the chief killed his wife. Then, a third time, the chief said, "One more chance. Give up your faith and live." But Nokseng replied, "No. The cross before me, the world behind me." And then, of course, the chief executed Nokseng. This gruesome tale not only became a song, but it actually ended, believe it or not, on a high note. The once heartless chief, moved by the dead man's faith, suddenly proclaimed, "I too have decided I will follow Jesus." And his entire village immediately and collectively then decided to do the same. Three out of 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, showcase how a bunch of strangers immediately and collectively decided to follow Jesus. Luke's lyrics for this story, for me, are a bit easier to swallow, as we actually get to hear how Jesus interacts, forms a bond, begins to build relationships with the disciples he is about to call. Jesus steps into Peter's boat, tells him to put out onto the water, head into deep waters, put out the nets for a catch. Peter, of course, whines about being up all night, catching nothing. And yet, he follows Jesus' directions, and the result, jackpot catch. Mark's and Matthew's versions are very different, scaled down significantly. They show Jesus as this guy who simply walks by, shouts out, "Follow me!" And both Gospels say the man immediately leave, go, follow. Reading either Mark or Matthew's version always initially traumatizes me, as I only hear the negative notes. I imagine a commanding, demanding Jesus, men abandoning wives, children, homes, fishing colleagues, livelihoods, their father, right there in the text. We are told they were not bold alone. Brothers Peter and Andrew together heeded the call. Brothers James and John also together decided to follow Jesus. 4 work colleagues who already knew each other, who knew how to labor together, simply moved from water to the open road. Each did make an individual choice to hear Christ's voice. But all 4 went on their way, united with Jesus. When I was trying to decide to come to Grace Church, I spent a lot of quality time on the phone with my father whining about how I didn't think I had the moxie to run a parish. My father, a lifelong financial wizard, wisely replied, "Marjorie, it's okay. I know you have no clue what to do. But that's okay. That's why you have treasurers, wardens, a vestry, very chatty, intellectually stimulated, holy, amazing, thoughtful, caring, remarkable, wonderful parishioners. God will give them to you. Because of them, you'll be okay. You'll know the way. Surround yourself with them. They will help you. Follow Jesus. Today is a day we celebrate the gospel truth. One that Jesus promoted and modeled. That every day we need to look around and surround ourselves with divine souls who inspire us. The characteristics we see in others, we strengthen in ourselves. I am so grateful for all of you, my fellow Jesus lovers. You who say and pray to me and one another, you are not alone. Lord, may we go out and do the work God intends us to. And remember, God created us to sing, work, serve, give, love, together. We have decided to follow Jesus. Amen.
Amen.